If you're considering buying in the Bluffton Hilton Head area, knowing how to estimate your property taxes is essential in estimating your total cost of homeownership in the area. Besides the home value, property taxes are determined by three main factors in this area. This is the county of which the property is in, whether or not the property is incorporated into an official municipality or town line, as well as how the property is classified. By understanding these factors, it will help you understand your total tax liability and avoid surprises in the future. So whether you're purchasing a $500,000 home, a $1 million home, or plus, this video will help you because we're going to break down some examples. The first thing to be aware of is when we're talking about taxes, we are talking about both property and school taxes in one bill. And unlike some other states where a town may be divided by two different school districts, thereby two different tax rates, here it's very simple. If you are in Beaufort County, for example, you're in the Beaufort County School District. If you're within Jasper County lines, then you're in the Jasper County School District. So in this area, the schools do follow the county lines. Here, property taxes are not assessed on the full market value of your home. Instead, it is assessed at a percentage of the value. If it's your legal primary residence, it's assessed at 4%. And if it's a secondary home or an investment property, it's assessed at 6%. And that assessed value is then multiplied by a millage rate to determine your total tax bill. Millage rates vary and are determined by the tax district. It's first based on the county and then whether or not the property is located within any municipal lines. For example, the town of Bluffton, town of Hilton Head, or city lines such as the city of Beaufort. Or rather, is it located in an unincorporated part of the county? What many people don't realize is besides the classification of the primary and secondary rate differences between the 4 and the 6, there's also a school operations credit that is granted to residents, primary residents, but not to the secondary homeowner. And that can be a meaningful amount. Now that we covered the assessment and the classification, now we'll talk about the location. And in Beaufort, whether a property is within inside of municipal lines or outside of, does have an effect on the millage rate. If a property is located within municipal lines, those millage rates do apply in addition to the county rates. And those go into support town level services. And this is why those that are in incorporated municipalities, their tax bill is higher than those of unincorporated county properties. If a property is outside of municipal lines but located in Beaufort County, for example, it would be considered located in unincorporated Beaufort County, and the tax bill will reflect the county taxes but not town taxes. I've included some links below where you can look up a property's tax zone and then cross-reference it with the municipality's tax calculator. Using those resources, let's look at some examples together. We're going to look at a home valued at $500,000 located in Beaufort County in the Bluffton area. Inside the town of Bluffton at a 4% primary resident rate, taxes will be approximately $3,154 per year, or about 0.63% of market value. If outside of the town of Bluffton in unincorporated Beaufort County at a 4% primary resident rate, taxes will be approximately $2,434 per year, or about 0.49% of market value. Looking at the town of Bluffton at a 6% classification, taxes will be approximately $8,514 per year, or about 1.70% of value. If outside of the town of Bluffton in unincorporated Beaufort County at 6%, taxes would be approximately $7,434 per year, or about 1.49% of value. How does the neighboring county of Jasper County compare? The state assessment ratios stayed the same, the 4% for the primary residence and 6% for secondary or rental property. But the millage structure differs from Beaufort County, starting with the primary residence assessment at 4%. In Hardeeville, for a home of $500,000, taxes are approximately $5,400 per year, which is about 1.08% of value. For those classified at 6% for secondary or rental homes, taxes would be approximately $13,080 per year, which is about 2.62% of value. As you could see, there's some big differences, especially depending on how you plan to use the property. Something to keep in mind that property taxes are one part of the total homeownership expenses. There are some others such as insurance, as well as the home values, and there might be some offsets in some other areas. The key is to evaluate the full financial picture rather than just focusing on one piece. I have also included the Jasper County related resources in the description below, so you can do a similar cross-reference. Besides those main factors, there are some other things to be aware of. The 4% status is not automatically given. In fact, it defaults to the 6%, and you need to apply for the 4% primary resident status. Keep in mind, if you applied for the 4%, but then there's some other changes that occur to the deed or the title or the use of the homes, that classification will need to be revisited. You're not on your own with this. At closing, your closing attorney will go over the guidelines of registration, documentation, and timing in which you need to apply. Another interesting note, and a positive one, is that when you buy new construction, because property taxes are paid in arrears here, it's often you will get taxed on the unimproved land value. So your tax bill may be considerably lower. And then, of course, once it gets assessed at the full value, your tax amount will change. There's also an exemption that you may be eligible for. It's the homestead exemption, which exempts $50,000 off of the market value prior to the assessment. I have also put the links for that homestead exemption so you could see who applies and what it may mean for you. As you can imagine, due to all of these variables, if you're trying to estimate what your taxes may be using the prior owner's taxes, it's not going to be reliable or representative of what your tax bill may be. As a side note, as we're talking about expenses, South Carolina also charges taxes on personal vehicles. That is considered personal property, not real estate, but you can also find information on the Assessors website related to that. Speaking of the Assessors website for the individual municipalities, that is the official resource. So it's important you get your information directly through them. This is being recorded as of February 2026 using the resources from the municipal website. Just know that these numbers can and will change, and they should always be verified through the direct authoritative resources, of which I will also put the links below. So always verify your information before making any purchase decisions. You can help mitigate any surprises and get a handle of what your total cost of homeownership may be here in the Bluffton Hilton Head area. If you would like help reviewing a particular property or any of the resources and information provided, don't hesitate to reach out. I've put my contact information below along with the links that I promised you.